Hello my friends. To be really honest with you, there have been quite a few recent luxury launches that made me doubt if I really know what I'm talking about on here, because some brands came out with certain pieces that I was sure no one was going to buy because they were pretty hideous looking, but as time went on I realized that everyone was loving them, people were talking and raving about them, which just really made no sense to me. So today these are the pieces that we'll be discussing, luxury launches that I'm hopeful someone one day will be able to help me make sense of, because today I don't want to use the word, but to me these pieces are pretty ugly, and I completely understand that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So if you own and love these pieces, if you spend your hard-earned money on them, by all means continue enjoying them. We don't all have to love the same things, but I'm hopeful that you'll let me know in the comment section why you love them, so I can at least have another look at them through your eyes. But without further ado, if you'd like to see some pieces from Chanel, Hermes, a brand that I don't think I would ever buy, they just genuinely make no sense to me and I don't get the hype, then please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and keep on watching. So as I mentioned, this video is not meant to be offensive in any shape or form. If you own these pieces and you love them, you continue enjoying them. I'm sure I have many pieces that you would never touch or buy, but let's dive straight in and start with a piece that I cannot wrap my head around. This is a piece that people have been going crazy for, especially this summer, which is a piece that if you told me that you bought for $20 on Canal Street just to carry your dirty towels to the beach and back from the beach to home, I would applaud you. I'd be like, you know what? You enjoy this large oversized tote bag, which just looks off. It doesn't even look like the real thing because it's so foreign for this brand to launch something like this. None of the characteristics, none of the feature align with the overall aesthetic of the brand, which is from YSL or Saint Laurent. It's a brand that I always call YSL, and you'll see exactly why that is. But we'll be talking about the Saint Laurent oversized shopper, which I think is called Icare or Icare. It kind of sounds like Icarus from Greek mythology, but I doubt that's how you pronounce it. I think it would be Icare or something along those lines. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen this tote bag around. It has been all the craze on social media this summer, which is basically this large oversized shopper, not even in a flattering shape. It's kind of like a hobo bag that meets an oversized tote that meets a bucket bag, which has two holes cut out within the leather for you to put your hands or arms through, and it has quilting all over it, which just makes no sense. Why would Saint Laurent come out with a quilted piece? It doesn't match their aesthetic, it doesn't match the pieces that they're known for and that are some of their most popular best-selling pieces. They should just leave quilting to those brands who know it how, and they should stick to things that they know how to do, because they do have some incredible bags like the Sac de Jour, and I understand that brands cannot do the same thing over and over and over again, because what happens then? I'll start criticizing them for being redundant. So I understand that they want to innovate, but this type of quilting does not work for them, because this bag doesn't look expensive without the quilting, or it wouldn't look expensive without the quilting, but it looks a lot cheaper with that cheap mismatched quilting. It just doesn't make it look refined in any shape or form. And then to make matters worse, the leather itself feels and looks plasticky, and it also has this huge oversized metal plaque in the old YSL logo, which I just don't understand. I don't get why they worked so hard on trying to rebrand themselves as Saint Laurent, then to continue using the YSL logo, which I get it, I continue calling them YSL, but to me this whole bag just makes no sense. It's a mix and match of different elements, different aesthetics that I just don't think go together. I don't mind a little bit of mix and match as long as you are able to keep a balance in your piece or in your outfit, but this piece is way off balance. It doesn't look harmonious and it just kind of looks cheap at the end of the day. I have no doubt that Saint Laurent knew that this bag was going to be a bestseller, because these days people think that the bigger the logo, the more value they get for their money, which I definitely don't agree with, especially when it comes to a bag like this. So if you're buying this to take on a boat, to take to the beach, I mean, I get it. I do still think that there are better alternatives. If you're looking for an oversized tote that has a logo on it, but it's not quite as obnoxious as this one, the Chanel de Ville, I think, is a great bag. If you're looking for that particular bag, I would suggest that you pick it up in tweed or in a fun finish. They always launch it in a more summery, lightweight finish for summer and spring, and then they usually launch it in shearling or some sort of a fuzzy finish for fall winter, which I think would be an amazing investment to buy. I loved my Chanel de Ville. There are some incredible tote bags from Bottega, which I recently talked about. So you have so many options. Please do not get this, because I can guarantee that you'll spend all this money on this bag, which is not cheap. This bag is not as cheap as it looks, so you're going to be spending quite a bit of money on this, and I can guarantee that you'll get tired of using it after a couple of months, if not even just a couple of weeks. Trust me, I completely understand that I'm being extremely critical in this video, so it's only fair that I exercise some self-reflection and I admit when I made a mistake, and I did make quite a big one recently when I bought into the Hermes Chypre sandals, which I'm sure you'll need no introduction to. I actually did a dedicated video, well, it was an unboxing, and I talked about me buying these pieces. I told you why I bought them in the first place, even though I wasn't the biggest fan, and then why I ended up returning them. So if you'd like to hear the whole story, make sure to have that video linked down below for you, which I know is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that these shoes are flattering. I mean, I have seen maybe a handful of people who were able to pull them off, but most of the time when I see these shoes on social media or when I see someone wearing them out, they just kind of remind me of diving fins. When people wear them, they remind me of little ducks just because of the way they walk. These shoes are really quite chunky and unflattering. They're floppy at the end of the day, and I think that's the best way to describe them. Whatever you style them with, they will immediately dress them down and make them look a lot less well thought out. It just kind of looks like that you put zero effort into putting your outfits together, and I don't want to be overly harsh because I have seen people who were able to pull them off, and if they bring a smile to your face, continue enjoying them. But they're definitely not a pair that I would suggest that you invest in. And I know that some of you agree with me on social media, because when I asked you to let me know what pieces you don't get the hype of, this was definitely a piece that quite a few of you sent through, especially the shearling version, which is the one that I bought. Now, I only have real first-hand experience with the shearling version, which I do have to admit are heavenly soft. They really felt like walking on clouds, but I did try the leather version, which according to some of you are unbelievably uncomfortable, and you may remember that I had quite a bit of issue with the sizing. So I just feel like these shoes are much ado about nothing. I think it's all a hype, because I don't think that these shoes look flattering or 99.9% of people out there. But if they bring a smile to your face, if you enjoy them, go for it. But if you're not trying to look like a little duck, I would say don't go near these shoes. And another piece from Hermes, which I know is going to be quite controversial, but I am not a big fan of, which is surprising considering how much I love the original version, but it is going to be the Kelly to Go, which is basically Hermes' take on a wallet on chain. They came out with a Kelly wallet, which is one of my most favorite pieces from Hermes, that had a leather strap attached to it, which is actually removable, so you can either use the piece as a wallet on its own, or you can use it as a crossbody bag, which I love the idea of, because the Kelly wallet is definitely one of those pieces that you can use as a multitude of different things. You can use it as a wallet inside other bags, you can use it as a bag on its own, you can definitely attach a strap to it to make it into a crossbody bag or a little shoulder bag. But I don't think that the strap that you get with the Kelly to Go is the most flattering. It is quite a thin leather strap that is made of the exact same leather as the wallet itself, which I should love the idea of, and in theory I do, but I just don't love the execution of the strap because it's incredibly thin. I think that the length that they made it in is incredibly awkward. I personally can't remember seeing, I don't think I've ever seen anyone who was able to pull off that particular strap length. It's either too long or too short on most people. It's way too thin. It definitely just looks like an afterthought. It doesn't look like a well-constructed design. It just seems like they had some leftover that they decided to throw next to the wallet, and they were like, you know what, you can have it if you want it. But they're not even giving it to you for free because they charge quite a bit for that little strap. I think you have to pay maybe $400-500 extra for that strap if you're getting it directly from the boutique compared to just getting the wallet. And if you're getting it in exotic skins, it's going to cost you a few $1,000 extra to get that strap, which is really not even that pretty. So I would just say that if you're going to get the Kelly wallet, or if you're thinking about getting the Kelly to go, just go for the original design. And I have several videos sharing how I would turn it into a much more elevated Kelly bag, rather than just having this thin little leather strap that is neither here nor there. So for me, the Kelly wallet, I would say just save your money on. If you can get the original Kelly wallet, that's the one I would get. Or if you love the idea of having a Kelly wallet with a dedicated strap, maybe wait for the new one to come out, which comes with a much more interesting and much more elaborate strap. And last but not least, let's move on to the piece that actually inspired this video, because when this piece first launched, I genuinely thought it was a joke, or I thought that this was going to be a piece that no one will buy. Well, I was terribly wrong, because the craze was insane. People could not stop talking about these pieces. People went crazy for them, and even on the pre-loved market, you can still find these pieces at ridiculous prices that people buy. It's not like the pre-loved market is oversaturated with these pieces because they're just hanging out there without being sold. People are buying these pieces at ridiculous prices, which I just simply cannot wrap my head around. But we're going to be talking about the Chanel heart-shaped bags, which bags plural, there were multiple bags that were in the shape of a heart. I feel like I would have had an easier time comprehending this piece if they just had one piece walk down the runway and it would have been a collector's piece. But Chanel genuinely thought that this was an idea that should be sold, because they created an entire collection around it. So they had the bags in different sizes. I think they had a belt bag, they had a coin purse, they had a wristlet, they had a ton of different stuff, which just leads me to believe that Chanel thought that this was an actually visually pleasing idea, which, let me tell you, Chanel, it wasn't. I mean, it's a cute shape and a cute idea if you're buying this for a 4-year-old. If you have a boy or a girl who goes to kindergarten and you buy them this piece or one of these pieces, they are going to be the cutest, chicest kids going to kindergarten, and they'll probably have street style photographers snapping pictures of them, only if you allow them, obviously. But I would say that if you're above age 10, don't get any one of these pieces, because you will just look like someone who started prepping for Halloween a little bit too early this year. I just don't think that these pieces are interesting, they're unique, they are flattering, they are thought-provoking, they just look cheap. They kind of look like pieces that you got from a clearance aisle for $4.99, when in reality they were probably closer to $4,999. But they definitely don't look like it. I mean, if you're a Chanel collector and you love Chanel and these pieces bring you joy, if you got your hands on them, I am so happy for you. I'm sure that they had an entire story about these pieces, how they were either inspired by something that they did in the 90s, or that Coco Chanel had a heart-shaped bag locked in her cupboard that she got from her long-lost lover, something along those lines. But just because something has a story doesn't make it a good story, and it definitely doesn't make the end result a great piece, which in my opinion this is definitely not. I am not someone who believes in saying never, but I can guarantee one thing, which is that you'll never see me with a heart-shaped piece on my side, especially not with one from Chanel. But my friends, this actually brings us to the end of today's video, which I am relieved that we are here, because it wasn't easy talking about these pieces. But please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about these pieces? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Either way, I'm going to be happy to hear from you. And I did actually ask for some of the pieces that you don't understand the hype of on my Instagram. And I still have those, so if you'd like me to react to some of those pieces, please let me know in the comments section. Some of our thoughts are very much aligned, so some of the pieces I already mentioned here. But I really appreciate you watching and being here. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. But for now, bye.